Hello, and welcome to Universal Consciousness with Dana. I am so glad that you tuned in. This is the platform that I have created for us to come together and discuss all things of spiritual matters, spiritual nature. Today, my guest is Karen Kane, practitioner Karen Kane. We have graduated together. We are both practitioners. We graduated from Joyful Gathering Spiritual Center. So, welcome, Karen. How are you today?
Thank you so much. I am doing well. It is such a pleasure to be here, Dana.
Great, awesome. It's always good to get together. So, today we are going to be talking about spiritual awareness. Now, Karen, are you familiar with spiritual awareness?
I am very much aware of spiritual awareness,
Great.
but I used to not be.
Okay. Well,
That's God calling.
yes, yes. Sorry about that. So, spiritual awareness is, to me, just being aware of a presence that is always with you, a presence that's it's like your help, your guidance. I would even say, far as your also your intuition.
Mm,
You know that there's something within you that's always helping you, guiding you, and directing you.
absolutely.
So that's spiritual awareness, being aware that is something that's in you that connects with everything outside of you.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Which I used to not be in tune with that,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to learn and practice that
Yeah.
and be aware of
Mm-hmm.
what am I looking for? How do I do this? What's happening? What is spirituality? So, go ahead.
Yeah. And one of the ways that you can actually expand your spiritual awareness is by meditating, and just spending that time with yourself and meditating, and even walking, listening to things of nature and walking in nature and things of that and things like that will help you to develop your own spiritual awareness.
Absolutely. I'm a firm believer of has been a huge, huge part of my own journey, my spiritual journey. Everyone has their own journey. However, I have learned that sitting in silence is just one of them for me most amazing ways to connect with God and within, and focusing on the breath and that silence. My favorite time or place to meditate is outside, and you just mentioned nature. Outside in nature. When I'm outside in nature, I can hear the birds, sounds, all kinds of nature. I'm not listening for all the other things out there that are not, you know, not a meditative force, but the things that are. And I
Mm-hmm.
really believe, I'm a firm believer getting outside, enjoying the outside every day. And if you can meditate and be in nature, then you're really becoming more into that zone of spiritual awareness.
Absolutely, absolutely. And even with spirit being spiritually aware, then you begin to think, then you begin to realize that you can even direct your own life, your own circumstances, by the way that you think, in the way that you connect with everything around you.
Correct. I mean, then we're going into manifesting.
Absolutely, because that's all a part of spiritual awareness.
Absolutely. That is so true. And until you are told that, or maybe a little bird comes in and suggests something to you, you might not be aware of that power and the power that we can create our lives however we want to by our thoughts, our actions, our connection is incredibly powerful. And wish I had known that when I was 6.
Yeah, exactly. We all wish we had known it way back when. But when you begin to learn something or become aware of something for yourself, that is the perfect time for you. So we all are in our perfect
Right.
time, in our perfect place in our own journeys.
This is true. Absolutely. So it came to me when I needed it to come to me, or when I was ready for it. No sooner.
Exactly,
I
exactly.
accept that.
Yeah. And one of the things I'm learning for myself with the spiritual awareness is just being aware about how I think about things, and then and what I've experienced behind the thoughts that I've been having.
Mm,
So for me to just know that I have been creating my life up until now, unbeknownst to me,
right.
now I feel more empowered
Oh, yeah.
with knowing that I can change my circumstances at will.
Yeah.
Because again, with spiritual awareness, I'm aware that I have the power to change my thoughts
Right. Right.
because the presence in me connects to everything outside of me. And my thinking also connects with everything outside of me.
Right. The
So
oneness.
absolutely. Being one with everything.
Right. Right. And that's bringing it back to nature. That's one thing. One reason why I love nature, because then it makes me more aware of the oneness, the connection.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I look outside and I hear the leaves or see the grass or the flowers blooming, the insects, the squirrels, my footsteps, it's incredible.
It sure is.
Really.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
so how have you used it? Let's talk about within this week's time. How have you used your thoughts, your connection to change certain things in your life? Just about this week.
About this week. Okay, so today's Thursday. Well, I've been really focusing on what's important to me, my passions, and focusing on my personal goals, my personal intentions, but also how can I help others?
Mm-hmm.
Focusing out as well. For me, I believe we're here to serve. So myself, how can I serve others, but also be doing what I love to do, my passion? So that's really what I've been working on this week. I've been promoting my t-shirts. So I'm the founder of a company called Believe in Humans. This is a t-shirt here.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
So Love Heals is this
Mm-hmm.
one. So I've been really trying to think, okay, how can this impact the world? How can I serve the world through this message?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I've been working on, and control.
And that's key because still it's all the spiritual concept because you working on that through your designs, through your own creative ability that made those designs for the shirt, your company.
So that's pretty, and that's something new to me. Where because I've previously, and I still do, I'm an ambassador for different products, but to do something in this form, promoting and helping others, that's your own little baby, right? It's my own little
Yes.
baby.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's a whole different shift and a whole level of putting your all into it. So, and I know that it's helping people. The mission, the whole concept
Mm-hmm.
is empowering humans to be themselves and uncover their magic.
Absolutely. Well, good for
So,
you, Karen. Very good.
so that's what's happening in my life this week. But I continue to, try now I'm really getting in that groove of working on that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
If I thought to myself, here's the perfect example. If I thought, oh my gosh, nobody's going to buy into this. Nobody likes humans. You're not selling anything. If I went into that whole tumble of avalanche
Right. Mm-hmm.
mindset, well, no, I would be a failure and it wouldn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But what I know is when you put your full heart, your thoughts, your actions, and your passion and your creativity and your talents into something, it will not fail. And this is what we learn as practitioners as well.
And you're absolutely right, because one of the other things about awareness, being spiritual aware, is about the energy. You know, because energy is also very spiritual, because it's something that we can't touch, feel, or taste,
right,
but it's present. So
right.
those thoughts, good thoughts of business building and ideals, are very high energy levels. So
Right.
like you're saying, if you would have thought negative about your business, then it would have been a failure.
Right.
So
I mean,
that's also part of being aware, and
right.
also that spiritual guidance that's helping you far as you building your product and your brand.
Right. And that's what you said. You know, you said if you think, you create. So of course I want it to be successful. Of course I want to help others. Of course I want to serve. Of course I want to, give to nonprofits and really, really, help people. And so, and I know that I can do this.
Absolutely.
And I stay in that mode. So no matter how many times I fail or how many, I could really easily go that route. Because it's a new business, it's like, but you got to stay the course.
Absolutely.
Like Mary Morrissey says, you got to stay the course. Just keep going, keep going. You fall down, you get back up. You fall down, you get back. What did I learn from this? And that's awareness too.
Yes.
I failed. I fell. What did I learn? Okay, next time you do better. You're going to learn. It takes you to the next step.
Absolutely.
So to be aware of that as well. That happened for a reason. What was the reason? How can that help me grow? So to me, it's all it's school. This is school right now. This is school.
Exactly.
I'm going to school every day.
That's exactly right. I like that, because we are in a school of life, and life is all about learning.
Right. That's it. That's it. It's the hardest school there is, because it never stops. It's all day long. It's the next day. Yes.
Yes. So, and we get up and do it all over again. Yeah.
Right. So here's that. You just made me think of the school. When people say the school of hard knocks, that's a mindset. If you say you're in the school of hard knocks, like people on their profiles in say their social media profiles.
Well, that goes back to the energy. Yeah, that goes back to the energy, that low level of thinking, because everything is spiritual, everything is energy. And that's that low level of thinking. So they put themselves in a school of hard knocks. Yeah.
You are what you attract, or your words become things. I mean, so right. So, why not switch it? Switch it to the opposite. We know this. Take that negative, switch it to the opposite, and the opposite is what you want.
Exactly.
Instead of saying I'm a failure, my business I'm a success. My business is doing amazing. We're helping others. We're doing all this great stuff. Believe it, even if it's the opposite. That's how you change. Aware. Aware.
Yeah. Because our life is always going to follow our thought pattern.
Yeah.
Yes. So just be aware of what you're thinking. Be aware of what you're thinking at every given moment.
And the other thing is that connection, being aware that, we're always being guided. There are signs, and for our greatest good.
Absolutely.
Believe that, have that faith, which I think we talked about last time.
Yes.
A little bit on that, the intuition and the guide.
Yeah.
And awareness is a lot of work on ourselves, being aware of ourselves, because we can get easily into these patterns and get stuck and believe we can convince ourselves of things that are not true.
Yeah.
And so that's a learning awareness.
Absolutely. Because it's more to us, each and every one of us, than what meets the eye, the depth of us, because we're evolving beings. things, you know, and that's one of the things that we have to become aware of. We are evolving beings, constantly changing, constantly growing, constantly evolving, because life is about change. You
Absolutely.
know, and that spiritual awareness, it lets you see that you're here for a bigger purpose, and you have to understand, the part that you playing in the bigger picture of life,
Yeah.
because we all have our part to play.
Yeah.
And that spiritual awareness, this presence, the divine presence within us, connects us to everything else, which is
Right.
life.
Yes. Yes. It's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very invigorating and empowering once you grasp that, you know, once
Right.
you know that
Right.
you have this power within you that's always there to help, guide, and direct you.
Right, right. And I never knew that. And until I didn't know that, I lived in a very sad, dark, negative, lack, limitation world.
Mm-hmm.
I really wasn't functioning too well on my own. I really hadn't I never had any money. I was barely paying my bills. I was you know, codependent. I didn't listen to my own gut ever, which then in turn made me unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
And so whose life was I living? Well, not mine.
Right. Yes.
I was
So
not living my own life.
so so I guess in that spiritual awareness, you start to depend more on yourself and your own decisions rather than asking other people.
Right, right.
Good.
Well, then I stopped asking other people.
Good for you. Good.
Share
Because the same
that,
here.
everybody. That was very important.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to bring that point across.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So when I stopped listening to everybody else's thoughts, suggestions, ideas, and I started listening to my intuition, which is my higher God self, I then started to become more happy and
Awesome.
more fulfilled
Good.
and more spiritual and more spiritually aware.
Good. Well, thank you so much, Karen. I really appreciate you spending this time with us today. It's very good discussion.
Yeah, fun
And
stuff.
yes, and I want to thank everyone that tuned in to Universal Consciousness with Dana. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time. You can
I wanted
always
to thank
find more videos on Universal Consciousness with Dana, and you can also see me on Facebook. All right, Dana Smith. Be blessed, be prosperous, be you. See you, Karen.
See ya, thanks,
Bye bye.
bye.